Masters of the Universe. Was not expecting this to be a good film. Boy, am I glad I went to go see this in theater, however. Didn't really have high hopes for this film going to the theater. But I have to say, after going, I had a lot of fun, so that is a huge positive. I actually had a lot more fun with this movie than what I was expecting. Now, I do not have any attachment to He-Man or the Masters of the Universe cartoon, the older movies with Dolph Lundgren, or anything of that nature. So I was going into this movie pretty fresh, but I have to say, what a fun time. And I think those who have grown up with the cartoon or grew up with the older movies, I think you're going to enjoy it because there is a lot of fan service in this film. So for starters, Nicholas, I believe his last name is Galitzin. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Horrible with names. He is our main character. He's our He-Man. And I have to say, does a really good job in the film. All the actors and actresses in this film, you could tell they were having fun and that they were actually putting their best foot forward when acting in this movie. None of the actors or actresses in here I thought really brought the film down. A lot of them helped elevate the film. So I thought that was really good. Nick as He-Man, he was awesome. He's like the perfect casting, I feel like, for this. Tila was good. Idris Elba, you know, is always going to give a good performance. And he did really good as Man of War. And as far as the movie goes, it's a very, typical action popcorn flick. Turn your brain off and just enjoy some action and some goofy moments. And that's what I really like about this film. They lean into the campy, they lean into the corniness. There is so many jokes in this movie. It's like a mile a minute with the jokes. And I'll be honest, a lot of the jokes are a lot funnier than what I was expecting. A lot of them hit. I mean, we got characters making jokes that are way too inappropriate for kids and what I was not expecting. I thought this was going to be more geared towards little kids and trying to sell toys. Fisto is being making fisting jokes. It was hilarious. Had an awesome time with the humor in this movie. Now, I will say, like I said, the jokes are like a mile a minute, so it can feel a little overwhelming, but they did a good job. So going back to the plot, He-Man, Skeletor comes in, takes over Eternia, locks up He-Man's mother and father. They separate their son from Skeletor and send him to Earth with the Sword of Power. That way, Skeletor can't get the power and cannot just have, unlimited power while ruling having an iron fist over Eternia. So Adam slash He-Man gets separated from the Sword of Power. In the first half of this film, it took a little long to get the plot rolling, in my opinion. I thought we spent too much time on Earth. There was some hilarious moments of Adam trying to be a normal person on Earth, and he's going on dates and talking about his home and freaking people out because they all think he's strung out on drugs or something. It's funny, but I just felt it lasted a little bit too long. I wanted to get back to Eternia. I wanted to see some fights, but it was funny. Adam eventually gets the sword. How he finds the sword in this like nerdy little comic book card store was a very funny scene. When we get to Eternia, this is where the movie really shines because the visuals in this movie, they are outstanding. Amazon did not skimp out on the budget for the visuals, and I was very impressed. Everything looks really good. Can't really think of any scenes in here where, the green screen looks atrocious and the CGI doesn't look very well. I think they did a great job throughout. Now, going back to the casting, I hate to say this because I really don't like the guy, but I will give props where props are due. Jared Leto played a really good Skeletor. Humor, quick wit, the voice, I want it to be a little bit more similar to the voice I've come to know from the cartoon that everybody loves making memes of. But I thought he did good. I thought they were going to take the movie too serious at first, especially when Skeletor arrives and takes over the kingdom at first. And no, once you start to get to know Skeletor a little bit more in the film, they lean into the campy, corny humor. They lean into a lot of like the meme humor that has come with this franchise. Good job, Jared Leto. I'll give you a hand clap. Still don't like you as a person, but I'll give props where props are due. Now, as we get into our action scenes in Eternia, not only do the visuals look great and the choreography in these fight scenes look great, I have to say it was way more brutal than I thought. I mean, they're showing He-Man impaling people with his sword, and some of the moves that are in this movie brutal. I thought they were really going to tone it down to like a PG level again because I thought they were aiming this more so for kids. But you know what? They didn't do that. They made this movie as fan service to those that grew up with the cartoon, grew up with the older movies, and I really like that because it elevated the movie because the action scenes were very well done. The big climax fight between Skeletor and He-Man was amazing. I really like the color, the purple clashing with He-Man from Skeletor's staff. Really cool. One big gripe I do have about this movie, however, is the dialogue. The dialogue is it leaves a lot to be desired. There is a few lines in the movie when we have some slower exposition scenes. You're like, ooh, that was a little rough. That didn't sound the greatest. But that's a smaller gripe for me. As I said, the rest of the movie, it was very fun. That's going to be my probably my biggest gripe with the film was the dialogue. Other than that, very fun throughout the entirety of the movie. So yeah, going into my rating, again, I am completely surprised with He-Man Masters of the Universe. Like I said, I was expecting this to be a bit of a crap show from previous ones that weren't very good, just from what I know about, and then just the way that the trailers looked. And so going into my rating, I have to say, pleasantly surprised with Masters of the Universe. Another fun film in 2026. I have to say, 2026 has been on a roll so far. This has probably been one of the better years for movies I can remember in the past few years have had some bangers, but I have really enjoyed a majority of the movies I have gone to see in 2026 so far. So for my rating of Masters of the Universe, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10. If you have the chance to go see it in theater, I know it's a little bit late. Sorry it took me so long to get the review out. Go ahead and see it. I think it's worth seeing. It's a great popcorn flick. If you grew up watching the cartoon or you are a fan, you had the toys back in the day, they do a great job. There are so many characters in here. They are throwing characters all over the screen. The action's fun. Eternia and the visuals in this movie were great. The colors that pop in this movie, they were beautiful. Definitely worth the watch. Thank you for tuning in this episode of Cove. If you like the content, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe. Make sure you be a friend, tell a friend, come on down to the Cove because the water is fine, baby.